Welcome back to another episode of Bushcraft Brews. I'm Hitch.
And I'm Wally.
And we are back. We got another one here. We are going to talk about hiking. Some things you can do to prepare. But first, let's listen to that crack. Show me your crack.
Here it is.
All right, I got the big breakfast. So it's a coffee maple porter. Coffee maple porter. I have a feeling this is gonna be a heavy guy.
That one I remember was pretty good.
All right.
And I'm drinking. Hold on 1 second while I pour this. It's the Mountain Ale from the Shed Brewery. Rugged Brown Mountain Ale. 7.4% alcohol. And it's a rugged, ruby-colored brown ale steeped in Vermont lore. Obviously appropriate for this podcast. It's the Mountain Ale. We love mountains.
Mountains. And we like big breakfasts.
Oh, I love a big breakfast.
Breakfasts.
I get so excited for like a huge breakfast with pancakes.
Dude, honestly, like some days Sundays are usually the days we do it, but some days we wake up and we're just like, all right, so pancakes? And then we cook a bunch of pancakes and we never finish them because we always make way too many.
One of my favorite, like going out for like a long bike ride or something, one of my favorite meals is pancakes because I can eat as many as I want. And like guilt-free because I know I'm gonna burn, I don't know, close to 2,000 calories for that specific ride. So I can eat like 4 pancakes and not feel guilty about it at all.
I feel that. Honestly, I feel that on like a different level. I'm like, yeah, any excuse I can find to like eat good food like pancakes or junk food, I find it. Like,
definitely.
You know what, Sean? You worked a little bit harder today at work. I always work hard, John. Relax. You can have a pancake.
And like, I find it so interesting. Like, the deeper you go into these endurance sports, we're getting a little bit off track here, but the deeper you go into these endurance sports, the more like high calorie foods you tend to eat, or at least like even like high performance pro athletes. I've heard from multiple pro athletes that like deep into maybe they're doing like a century ride or something like crazy with efforts in the middle or something, they will bring the most high calorie dense food they can find. So something like Pop-Tarts, Oreos, a can of Coke, like all that stuff is perfect for that kind of ride.
On the ride, yeah.
Because you can eat so many calories in one bite.
Yeah. Absolutely, like those quick calories, you just get them, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the meals that The Rock eats on a Sunday?
Oh yes.
Oh my God, that stack of pancakes that he posts is ridiculous.
I feel like
how do you eat that?
I feel like that should be a whole challenge. That should be that? Like The Rock weekly challenge or something. Like, can you even finish the meal?
There's no way. There's honestly no way. Like, I feel like I eat a pretty good amount. There's zero chance I could finish that. Like, none.
I mean, he's eating, 12 pancakes, 6 eggs.
The stack of pancakes, it's literally, like, it's so high, it's ridiculous. And then he has food on top of that? I don't understand. All right, we're off topic.
Let's get back on topic. We're talking about exercises that will be able to supplement maybe some of your expeditions.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things and one of the reasons we wanted to do this is because doing a hike is very fun. You can see beautiful things. It's a way to challenge yourself, and it's very, very rewarding. But that said, if you're not in shape, or at least in shape enough to enjoy the hike, you're probably going to hate it because the entire time you're going to be struggling. You're gonna be out of breath, and if you're with another group that is in shape for it, you're gonna be falling behind. You're gonna feel insecure about where you're at, which it shouldn't be about that. It should just be about having fun and being able to do it. Even if, yes, you are going to be doing it at your own pace, you just want to be comfortable. So that's kind of why we're hopping into this topic. And
yeah, definitely. Those are all great points.
Thank you.
So let's start.
All right, awesome. So I know, Wally, you got definitely a general kind of a workout plan, which is great. I think it's important for those that don't really know where to start. I have a couple specific exercises, but utilize this and just prepare yourself for when you are going to take this this next trip and this next hike, whether it's a day hike or just a camping trip in general.
And not necessarily like a whole training plan, but just some recommendations even to make to a training plan that maybe you're already doing.
Exactly.
Because maybe you are like a real Gillet athlete already who like is working out 5 or 6 days a week, and you're like, why do I need to listen to this? Well, just hear me out for a minute. If you have a big 9-mile hike coming up, but your training plan only consists of benches, squats, and deadlifts, you're gonna have no endurance, and that hike is gonna it's honestly gonna suck for you. It's not gonna be fun.
No, it's gonna be very difficult. So, good story. One of our buddies that goes with us, Ryan. First time he went on a hike with us, and he's a lifter. He's a big guy, heavy lifter. He felt embarrassed because he was kind of last, back of the pack. We had to wait for him to catch up, and so he made it a point the next time we go on a hike, he's gonna finish, in the front. Which you don't have to do, but that's something he wanted to do. He didn't want to feel like people were waiting for him. He didn't want to feel so out of breath that he couldn't finish the hike or didn't want to finish the hike sometimes. So he ended up working harder the next time and kind of preparing himself specifically for the hike, and he ended up doing well, and I think he enjoyed it a lot more. So
definitely, and it's definitely good to do those bench, squat, deadlift. You could be training 5-6 days a week weightlifting and doing minimal cardio, but then maybe when you have something planned 3, 4, 5 weeks out, start to implement maybe 1 day of cardio or 10 minutes of cardio at the end of your workout every day, or something like super simple like that can go a long way and make a bigger difference than you actually think.
100%, because when you have that 90-degree incline for like an hour and a half, your body's gonna die and it's just gonna shut down and you're not gonna want it anymore. So listen up. And I guess I'll start with my first one, Wally. I think this is one of the better exercises for me, just to kind of get you going, because when you're going up these mountains, they can be steep climbs, and a lot of the time, unless you're scrambling, it's all legs, and you're kind of trucking like you're walking upstairs, except a little bit steeper. Your strides are a little bit longer. So I recommend using a stair climber with a backpack on. So you fill the backpack up, and you can kind of fill it to your liking and your skill level. However, prepared you want to be. If this is your first time using the stair climber, maybe you don't fill it up at all. Maybe you just use a stair climber. That's fine. But definitely use it if you're at a gym or if you have one at home. Hop on the stair climber, whatever it is, 5-10 minutes a day. It just goes so far. It will help you tremendously when you go out on that first hike.
And not to mention, like, your bench, squat, and deadlift can still improve.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like, those other main lifts, compound lifts, they're not going to just, like, diminish because all of a sudden you're doing cardio. It's, like, a big myth. I think that people are afraid they're going to lose their bench gains because they're doing some form of cardio. Just remember to eat in a calorie surplus if you're trying to get stronger.
Yeah, that's all. And honestly, like, again, it's not something you have to do 24/7, 365. It's just when you have a hike, if you're going to plan a trip, you start doing these things and implementing them so that you can,
right.
You're just a little bit more prepared when you do take on that venture.
Because the idea is, like, if you can do a longer hike, you can see more spectacular things and you can enjoy the whole journey instead of just getting to that viewpoint or something. The whole thing is going to be more enjoyable because you're not killing yourself with every step.
Right, and like a lot of these hikes too, like I want to say, it's not just the peak that you're doing this hike for. If you want to see the peak, you can look up pictures. Some peaks you can even drive to. Then if that's what you want to see, then go do that. I think hiking for me, and while I think you'd agree, the hike itself is enjoyable. You're walking through this scenery that's absolutely gorgeous. A lot of times there's water moving next to you. There's greenery. It's just a beautiful scene.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're exhausted, you're not enjoying it, you're not looking around, you're probably looking down at your feet thinking, Jesus Christ, I just want to get to the top. So,
all reasons to just get a little bit more fit so you can actually be confident on that hike that you're about to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'm going to start with this other one. It's just funny because while you just got me into this, but I could see it being super useful the next time you want to go on a hike, and that's rock climbing. Specifically, we did bouldering, which I'm still working on, but I think I'm okay at it. It's just such a good way to train your body. I can't tell you how sore I was after the first time I went bouldering, and it's just these short bursts, man, that absolutely destroy and shred your body. And honestly, I think it's a good exercise overall. Like if you just want to get shredded, go boulder every day. I feel like
Yeah, definitely.
it'll definitely work.
Because it's like a constant, like, you're always putting stress on some point of your body, whether it be your fingers or even like some part of your abs or obliques, because you're trying to hold yourself on the wall, or maybe your legs in an awkward spot where like there's a lot of pressure on one of your quads or something. Like very isolated movements, but that take like full body like work, stress.
I think it's almost like that. Every time you climb up a little bit further, it almost feels like you're using every muscle to like its full capacity.
Yeah.
So once you're done one climb, you're exhausted, and it's like, oh my god, I gotta do another one. Or especially if you didn't finish the climb, you're like, oh my god, I gotta do that again. It's so difficult, but I think it's such a good way to train your muscles to take on the pain and to grow your muscles' endurance, so that when you do take on these hard hikes or these hard adventures, your body's more prepared for it, and maybe even your mental state is more prepared.
Definitely good points. So I'm going to talk about this first beer that I'm drinking right now. It's the Rugged Brown Mountain Ale from the Shed Brewery, and I'm enjoying it. More of less, I don't want to say less crafty, because craft beer has gotten really out of hand in the last couple of years.
Oh my god.
But it's got, the distinct... I'm going to take another sip and then talk about it more.
Well, I'll talk about mine. The Big Breakfast. You can really taste the syrup. That's like the first flavor that hit me on these pancakes. The syrup is 100%, I think, the strongest flavor in it. But it is good. It's not overwhelming. Like some of those breakfast beers you have are super, super, like, almost thick and heavy, and they're just not good. This isn't bad, and I think that's because it's a porter.
Yeah, some of my favorite beers right there that you're drinking. This is more of like, you can have more than 2 of these or 3 of these or 4 of these if you really want to and get crazy. But it's pretty good. It goes down easy, and I enjoy the taste of it a lot. Unlike, Miller Lights go down easy too. Bud Lights go down easy too. But honestly, the taste of those are just low quality. I'll say that about them. Low quality.
Low quality. Water.
Yeah, so the taste of this is, in my opinion, it actually tastes really good. And it's a beer that you can drink more than one of. It's not going to, like, really fill your stomach.
Good by me. Good by me. Awkward pause.
Yeah, I'm going to have the rest of this coffee maple porter. It is so freaking good.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I like the coffee maple porter.
This is one I'm going to get again for sure.
All right, well, if you want to hop into kind of the points that you have.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some expedition simulation workouts. We didn't really have a better name for it, honestly.
I thought it was great. I like the name. I'm a little offended, actually.
But basically, like, if you're going to be, let's say I'm going on a touring trip, the ski touring trip, this next week. And a lot of it is going to be climbing on skis, obviously, for extended periods of time that might be longer than an hour. So I would do something like, obviously, walking with a backpack outside with maybe 30 pounds in it or 40 pounds if I want to get really crazy, and just walk around the block a couple of times. It doesn't have to be anything like super long or crazy, but just walk for like 20 minutes with 30 pounds in your back, and you will feel a huge difference. Obviously, like, I'm a big cyclist already, so I'm just kind of sticking with my training program there and hoping that will help me stay fit and just lead to gains, and I'll be able to enjoy it anyway. Because the training's been going really well, actually, and I don't see a need to adhere from it and separate the training from this point, since I already have like a reliable way to do endurance training. And it's not only endurance, it's a lot of power too. It's definitely gonna help with those steep inclines when I'm touring.
So I just started the Mountain Ale, and it does have like a regular beer. I don't even know what to call it, but like a Miller Lite.
Right.
Like, it's a light beer. I'm actually
But it
little
actually
surprised.
tastes really good.
The flavor's good. It's just light. It's definitely lighter than I thought it was going to be. But no, that's a great point. You know, when we talk expedition simulation, it's just that. It's simulating.
This beer is fire.
Your face when you just said that.
The Big Breakfast. It's from... Where is this beer from? 7.2%. Packaged at Glasstown Brewing Company in Millville, New Jersey. Shout out to Glasstown Brewing Company in Millville, New Jersey. This beer is fire. The Big Breakfast.
All right. Wally's getting excited.
Maybe a little bit tipsy.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Honestly, I didn't want to say it, but sort of. Just a half a beer and you know, that'll do it.
It's like makes all the difference. Like when you haven't drank in like a week or more than that.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden you have a couple of like high percentage beers.
Especially when you haven't eaten much either.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god. All right, well, I'm ready to go. Yeah, expedition simulation. I think it's just it's a good way to kind of again simulate what you're going to be going through, and if it is just 20 minutes a day, that can make a world of difference. And you'll be able to see how prepared you actually are for your next trip. So if you can find ways to simulate what you're going to be doing, that is great. And again, it could be putting a backpack on and filling it with books, you know, textbooks, and walking around the block a couple times.
Or maybe you live in a snowy area and you want to do like sprints through the snow or something. Or like maybe it's the summertime and you have a lake or river nearby and it's shallow enough that you can like sprint across the river or something like that. And that'll be like amazing cross training.
Oh, another good one that I do is wall squats. I think they're phenomenal just for wrecking your quads. And again, if you're going to be hiking up a mountain, you got those long strides and you're stepping up, you know, you're climbing stairs using long strides. It can be pretty tough. So those wall squats are pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we ran out of topics, so I don't know. Are we just allowed to sit here and bullshit, or do you have something else?
I mean, I don't really have any topics either.
Okay, so, all right. Well, anyway, do those exercises, but like also you don't have to because we're not personal trainers. So do whatever you want to do. Those are just our tips.
Yeah, we're just like experienced. Like I don't want to say like I'm an expert in outdoor adventure or something, but we've gone on a fair amount of trips and we've had experiences where we were personally not fit enough and it wasn't fun.
Right.
And we don't want to go through that experience again. So we're trying to help you.
The first camping trip I took was with Chris. We went up to the Catskills and we did like, honestly, I still think it was one of the hardest hikes I've ever done. It was like, I don't know, like 9 miles actually, all in. It was like 9 miles and I was in so much pain. I was so tired. I mean, I think I actually like forced everybody to stop because I was like, I need a snack, which was absolute bullshit. I didn't need a snack. I just needed a rest for a little bit. And then when we got to the top of the mountain, my leg, I actually thought it was going to explode. I thought my one leg was going to explode. Gabby gave me Advil. So, I don't know. We're just speaking from experience. We're not at all like, you know, trained, or we're not licensed or anything to be like a personal trainer. So, you know, just take this with a grain of salt, but these are just things that we do to prepare ourselves.
And I would say, like, if you know, like, you haven't done the correct preparation, or, like, you're a little bit intimidated by the mileage or elevation coming up, like, just be honest about, like, you know, guys, I think I'm going to turn back 4 miles in, or, like, I'm going to cut it short here, and I'm going to take this turn back to the campsite or the start spot, and I'm going to end it early today. If you just tell them beforehand, people will be absolutely fine with it. Just make sure that it's part of the plan. You have a proper way to get out, get back, and a proper way to meet up with your group.
Yeah, absolutely. And not even that, like, if you need to stop, just stop. Like, don't push yourself to exhaustion. Exhaustion?
Yeah. Exhaustion.
Okay. I don't know if that's right or not. Don't push yourself to, too hard. Like, if you need to stop, or if you do need a snack, you need a sip of water, just tell people. If the people you're hiking with aren't willing to stop for you, then they're not worth hiking with. So
that's a quote to live by.
Dude, that came off like I was just saying, like, that was pretty good. I'm impressed with myself. No, but it's serious. Like, you know, you have to be comfortable with stopping, and not everybody's at the same skill level. So you'll get there, but and you'll also find your own things, like things that make you better at hiking, I guess, or more prepared.
Definitely, because I am a cyclist, so I'm better at endurance stuff. But Sean is more into weightlifting, so he might be better at like short hikes and stuff like that because he has more just general like power and strength over the short term.
Absolutely, yeah.
Stuff like that is like you'll have strengths and weaknesses with the people that you're going with, and you got to recognize that.
Right. And you just got to work with it. Like so we've gone on hikes plenty of times where we knew the people we were going with weren't as experienced as us, and so we kind of like not held back, but we stayed back with them, and we did the hike at their pace, and it was cool. So basically, we are the ideal people to hike with because we won't rush you at all. Like, we're cool. If you want to go slow, we're good. If you want to go fast, that's cool too.
We're basically just like the coolest people on the planet. So if you want to hike with us, just give us a shout out.
Just Venmo us like $100. No, 200. No.
That's all you have to do to hike with us. And bring a 6-pack.
And bring a 6-pack, yes. And you're in. So
that's all it takes. $200 in a 6-pack.
So, message us for info. No, that's cool. But no, seriously, yeah. Again, I don't even know where else to go with this. I think at this point, just take what we said and try it out, see if it works. If it does, great. If not, kind of find your own thing. But the most important, I guess, takeaway from everything we said today is just prepare yourself. Whatever that is, doesn't matter. We gave you things we do, but something different might work for you. Just make sure you're doing it, because you don't want to get out there and be halfway through a 7-mile hike and start regretting it, because that's not a good situation.
Yeah, that's a bad spot to be in.
Right.
So that's going to be it for this episode. We're going to talk more about preparing as far as gear for the next episode. So look forward to that, more preparation. Thank you all for listening.
See you next week.
And we want to encourage you to keep on drinking beer.